I started fumbling around the HR website, and when I opened up my pay stub, I was surprised by what I found. I saw that a big chunk of that money was being used to pay taxes, and it was really a wake-up call on how much taxes I was actually paying. I'll break down the 4 biggest taxes that come out of your paycheck and ways that you can reduce them. Number 1 is federal withholding. These taxes are paid to the federal government. See this battleship over here? That is worth $20 million, and you paid for that. They are called withholdings because employers literally withhold or hold back a portion of your salary to pay to the IRS. Money is always tight, and the government wants you to pay your taxes the same time you get your money. Your employer withholds a percentage from your paycheck based on a table provided from the IRS. For example, if you make $8,000 a week as a single person, your employer will withhold around $2,300 a week. That's around 29% of your salary. And the higher your salary, the higher percentage that is withheld for taxes is higher as well. Number 2 is state tax withholding. You pay these taxes to the state government that you live in. Similar to federal withholding, you are withholding a percentage from your paycheck. The percentage, however, depends on which state that you live in. If you live in a state with no income taxes like Texas, Tennessee, Florida, you will not have any withholdings for state taxes. However, if you live in a high income tax state like California, New York, New Jersey, you'll see a pretty big chunk coming out of your salary to be paid for state taxes. For example, if you live in California, earning $8,000 a week as a single person, you're paying around $1,400 a week for California taxes. That's around 5 to 6%. So picking which state you want to work in really has a big impact on your taxes, but there's also so many other factors to think about, such as quality of living, family, and potentially other types of taxes that states tax you. Number 3 is Social Security taxes. This is also called OASDI, standing for Old Age, Medical, and Disability Insurance. This helps fund benefits to Americans when they're in retirement, or to family members with a spouse that passed away, or to someone that becomes disabled. You will likely enjoy these benefits too one day. When you're in retirement, the Social Security will give you some benefits as a stable income. You can use that for something like the cruise ship trips that my grandparents always talk about. For many US physicians, this is mandatory, and you are paying a flat tax of 6.2%. There's a silver lining where you only pay taxes up to $184,500 of your salary. If you make over that, then Social Security will not be taxing the amount over that limit. So if your salary was $184,500, then you are paying $11,439 of Social Security taxes. If your salary was $500,000, you're still paying the same amount of Social Security taxes because the taxes are capped. If you are an employee of a public hospital, you might not be paying Social Security taxes at all. Instead, you might be paying contributions to a public pension plan. Usually around 5 to 8% is taken from your salary, and when you retire, you should expect some retirement benefits similar to Social Security as well. Number 4 is Medicare taxes. This funds our US government's Medicare health insurance program. Your employer takes out 1.45% from your salary to pay Medicare taxes. There's no cap on these taxes, no matter how much you earn. So if you make $500,000 a year, you're still paying 1.45% into Medicare taxes. Something that confuses people is that you're paying an additional Medicare tax if you are a high earner, and that applies to most physicians. That is called the additional Medicare tax. The additional Medicare tax is 0.9%. That's added on to the 1.45% Medicare taxes, and that's based on the table below. The additional Medicare tax starts kicking in once you start reaching these salaries here. So if you are earning $500,000 a year and you are single, then you will be paying 0.9% additional Medicare tax to the amount over $200,000. All of these taxes add up, and is a big reason why you see so little coming into your bank account on payday. These taxes could very well take out over 40% of your salary if you make over $400,000, but there's ways to reduce that, to reduce taxes paid to the government and paying more of that money into your own pocket. Number one is the health savings account, or the HSA. It's the queen of saving taxes because it reduces your taxes for all of the taxes mentioned earlier. You can contribute up to $4,400 if you're single, or $8,750 if you have children. It's very flexible. You can keep that money in the HSA as long as you like, and it's really flexible in the way you can invest. You can invest in things like stocks, bonds, or funds. There are multiple ways you can withdraw the money. The most common way is to withdraw the money for qualified medical expenses, and you won't have to pay any taxes on the withdrawals. The list of qualified medical expenses are pretty broad, so you can use that money to pay for insurance premiums, dental work, but there's also some interesting expenses that you could use, like LASIK, fitness equipment, and even compression socks. You can also wait till you're 65 years old to withdraw the money for any types of expenses in retirement, not just medical, but those expenses will count as income, and that is not tax-free. A big caveat to this is you must participate in a high deductible health plan, an HDHP. Like in the name, these health plans have high deductibles, so it might not be best suited for everyone. The minimum deductible for these plans is $1,700 for single people, or $3,400 for people with a family. If you visit the doctor frequently, going with the HDHP might not be worth it since you're paying a lot of health insurance premiums. Instead, you might be better off going with a lower deductible plan and saving more money by spending less on medical expenses, but you forgo the HSA. Your employer can contribute to the HSA through your salary, or you can contribute to the HSA yourself through your bank account. If you want to reduce Social Security and Medicare taxes, you must contribute through your salary from your employer. Number two is contributing to your retirement plans like 401ks, 403bs, and 457s. These plans allow you to contribute up to $24,500 a year, and based on the employer you're with, you might be able to contribute even more by participating in different types of retirement plans. However, this does not reduce the taxes for Medicare taxes and Social Security taxes like the HSA. You only reduce federal and state taxes. But because federal and state taxes are such a large portion of all the taxes that you're paying, and with the retirement plans, you can contribute a much larger amount into your plans. This is a super important tool to reduce your taxes. I recommend retirement plans to almost everyone. You can contribute a portion of your salary into pre-tax or Roth accounts. For the pre-tax accounts, when you put the money in, you get a tax deduction, but when you take that money out when you retire, you are paying taxes at that time. The Roth account does not reduce your taxes now, but the growth is all tax-free, and so when you retire and take the money out, you will not be taxed. If you are looking to reduce your taxes now, then you should be contributing to the pre-tax account. These plans are only set up by your employer, and they could be different based on what your employer sets up. So this could be a really important consideration when you're looking for jobs. Before you sign that dotted line, make sure you know what type of retirement plans and benefits are being offered to you. If you have your own private practice, you have the flexibility of setting up your own retirement plan. This could also give you the opportunity to put even more money than other salaried people or salary positions, because you can set up multiple retirement plans to really boost your savings. The last thing I want to mention is not a solution, and that's adjusting your withholdings. You have the option of paying less withholdings from your salary within a year, but I want to say just because you reduce your withholdings doesn't mean that you eliminate the taxes that you have to pay. It's kind of like buying things on a credit card. Not paying now doesn't mean that you don't owe the money. When you're filing your tax returns the next year, you're calculating how much taxes you owe. You will compare your tax bill with how much you withheld, and if you withheld too little, you might be in a surprise with a big tax bill, or you might even have to pay penalties, which we don't want. Thank you for your time. I'm posting a video every week to help physicians with their finances. You can click on my profile to look for other videos on other topics. Hope you have a great day.